Why children with autism struggle with challenging behaviors. Going to wait for a couple of minutes. So we all know autism is a neurodevelopmental disorder in which children struggle with social interaction, communication, and they engage in repetitive behavior. Also, many children on the autism spectrum engage in challenging behaviors. And sometimes, as parents, we are lost as to why the child is engaging in this behavior. We don't know what we can do in order to help the child with the challenging behaviors. So, in this live, we are going to speak about it. So, what we need to do is when our child is engaging in a challenging behavior, we first need to find out why the child is engaging in that behavior. What is the child getting out of that behavior? First thing is we need to find the cause, the why behind the behavior. Why is this behavior happening? So we can put a strategy in place and teach the child a replacement behavior which will get them the same function which the challenging behavior was getting them. So, for example, if your child is engaging in a challenging behavior in order to get your attention, then you have to teach them an appropriate way to get your attention. So, we have to teach them exactly the replacement behavior which will give them the same result. Now, there are many reasons why children with autism might struggle with challenging behaviors. The first one is inability to communicate. We know many children on the autism spectrum are non-verbal or non-speaking, meaning they do not have a way to communicate their wants and their needs. This leads to anxiety and frustration, and that can lead to challenging behaviors. So, what we need to do is we have to provide them with the appropriate way to communicate. We have to set up a communication system for the child early on. It can be gestures, sign language, PECs, scoreboard, or high-tech speech generating devices. So it's very important that we set up a communication system for a child with autism so they have a reliable way to communicate their wants and their needs and not feel anxious or frustrated. Second, we also know children with autism struggle with sensory processing challenges. And that can also result in challenging behavior because they don't feel regulated, they don't feel calm in their body, they don't feel good. And as a result of which, they can engage in challenging behaviors. So, what you can do is you can contact the occupational therapist who is trained in sensory integration, who can give you a sensory diet. Sensory diet is a list of activities which your child with autism can engage in throughout the day, which will help them feel regulated and calm. So that's the next step. Hello, thanks for joining in. Today's video I'm talking about why children with autism can struggle with challenging behaviors. So let's begin. So we all know autism is a neurodevelopmental disorder in which children with autism struggle with social interaction, communication, and also repetitive behavior. So before we proceed, if this is the first time you're coming to my channel, again, thank you for joining and I appreciate that. Make sure you like this video and also subscribe to my channel so you can get more information on autism, autism awareness, and actionable tips and strategies you can use to help your child with autism without overwhelm. So we know children with autism can engage in challenging behaviors, and there has to be a reason for that. There's always a reason for the challenging behaviors, And we have to find the reason why they are engaging in that particular behavior. So, what we need to do is we have to teach the child an appropriate way to communicate. We have to teach them a proper way to communicate. That could be sign language, gestures, low tech core board, or PECs, or high tech speech generating devices. So it's very important that we give our child a proper way to communicate. So that way, they don't have to engage in challenging behaviors in order to get their wants and their needs met. So that's the first thing. The second thing is children with autism struggle with sensory processing challenges. They don't feel regulated, they don't feel good. And that's why also they engage in challenging behaviors. So it's very important that you contact an occupational therapist who is trained in sensory integration, who can give you a sensory diet. So, have you heard about the sensory diet? Do comment and let me know. Are you familiar with the sensory diet? Do comment and let me know. So, sensory diet is a list of activities which the occupational therapist will give you, which your child with autism can engage in throughout the day in order to feel calm and regulated. And that will help with challenging behaviors. The next thing is children with autism also can struggle with transitions, they can struggle with change. So we have to prepare them for the transitions, we have to prepare them for the change. We have to introduce change to them in little ways so that way they are flexible and they can tolerate changes. The next thing is visual processing is a strength for children with autism. So we can use visuals when you're giving them any instructions, when you're telling them what to do. You can use visuals. So that way it will help in their understanding, which is also very important for children with autism, as many of them, they struggle with understanding. They struggle to understand the spoken language, the receptive language. So using visuals will also help with it. So these are some of the things we can do in order for our children to help them with their challenging behaviors. So I hope you find this useful. Do like this video and make sure you subscribe to my channel to get further information on autism, autism awareness, and also actionable tips and strategies you can use to help your own child with autism. So before I end the live, do you have any questions I can answer? Do you have any questions? Okay, thank you for being here.